Continuing ahead, paving the way for the new frontiers. Today marks the 10th year anniversary, and again, we set out in 2014 to do something new and different for our studio. We've conquered the Witness, looted dungeons, ascended to the lighthouse, and more. Now we look to the future. We're plotting our course to the stars through Codename Frontiers. We close the door to the final shape, but we are opening a new one, a weird one, and an exciting one that takes Destiny to places that have never been before. We're building the future now and excited to share with you a first glimpse of it today. So they give us a actual roadmap that is honestly huge, because a lot of people have been talking about the lack of ideas or knowledge of what's happening for the future is unfortunate. So right here, we see they line out some things about expansions, seasonal updates, and reward passes. Essentially what they list: expansions will have story, location, missions, weapons, gear, raids, and dungeons, which that sounds like the usual yearly stuff. And the seasonal update, I guess, is going to be a step down from episodes, possibly into the return to the seasonal, with new and reprised activities, gear, artifact mods, modifiers, challenges, sandbox metas, and seasonal events, obviously. The rewards pass themselves is going to have exotic weapon and ornaments, like always, legendary weapons and armor ornaments associated to the season, I imagine, as well as geared upgraded resources, cosmetics, and more. Just to let you know in case you don't. So, in the summer of next year, just about a year from now, the next expansion of Codename Apollo, with no things available at current, is going to be taking place. The season, however, is going to be available for all players. The season that launches alongside it, Codename Arsenal, and then the Codename Surge is going to be the fall of that year. So we're going to have 4 seasons per year, but 2 expansions per year. Which, if they're still, like, I'd say yearly expansion size, I'd be all for that. But as well, there will be reward passes for every season and going forward, as usual. So it does sound like we are returning to seasonal model. The episodes might have just been something to cascade from the final shape into Frontiers. So there we go. So to lay it out perfectly, the roadmap lays out our plan for year 11 and beyond, with some exciting changes to our annual model. 2 expansions per year, paid, but then 4 major updates of free content every year. Over the next few months, we will be sharing more info with you on Codename Frontiers, which is how we are describing major innovations coming to Destiny over the next few years, starting with the next expansion, Codename Apollo. We have several Dev Insight deep dives going live today. We'll continue to add more to the list over the next weeks and more to come. Today, we also have Tyson Green and the game director, and Destiny 2 story director, Allison Lours, diving into some of the future of Destiny 2. Our goal is to be more transparent in communications with you. This means sharing our work more frequently, even if you see our mistakes and false starts along the way. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are always subject to change as we get deeper into development. Ultimately, this is your game too. We want you to see how it's made and why. If you take away anything else, it should be this: we're excited for Destiny to change and improve in ways to keep evolving in the future. So these are the other bits in individual articles to go over: the activities, the rewards, and the portal, which I imagine is going to be something else. But then the vision for the future of Destiny 2 with some awesome looking concept art, which I can't say for certain, but this looks like Venus, because that is certainly a Vex structure. But, you know, we just have to see. Now, from Tyson Green, let's see. First and foremost, we all still love Destiny. It is a unique and challenging game both for you and for us. I've personally been working on Destiny for 15 years, and it still excites me creatively. There are not many games I could say about that. Excuse me. But at the same time, we recognize that it has become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Season and episodes keep getting bigger, but it can still feel like you're just going through the motions. We believe it's time for Destiny to change and evolve, and our community wants this game to grow and innovate too. And to do that, we need to start breaking some of the molds. So, how annual expansions are going to be working? We loved creating annual expansions that are especially proud of the final shape, but the truth is that they dominate almost all of our development effort. We need to free ourselves up to explore and innovate on how we deliver Destiny 2 content so we can invest in areas of the game that will feel more impactful to players. Starting next year, instead of 1 big expansion, we're going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions, 1 every 6 months. Each of these will depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using essentially unchanged since Shadowkeep, and each will be an opportunity to explore new and exciting formats instead. We're excited to try things out that challenge your idea of what Destiny experiences can be, and we're actively prototyping non-linear campaigns, exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or the Metroidvanias. I thought that was something else entirely in Destiny. And even more unusual formats like roguelikes or survival shooters. Each expansion will present a new opportunity to try something different. Departing from one-shot campaign doesn't mean that we are turning away from great storytelling. Going forward, we want to return to the mystery and wonder that is woven into the fabric of early Destiny when the story felt right with possibilities and an epic sense of exploration and discovery. Great stories are as important as ever in our creative vision, and Allison will touch on more of that below. Moving into seasons. Instead of 3 episodes, we'll be building 4 major updates per year, 1 every 3 months. Each expansion will launch alongside a major update at the start of a season. And then when a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game and new and reprised content, including activities, strikes, exotic missions, or entirely new modes like Onslaught, rewards, weapons, armor, artifact mods, exotics, and more, weekly events, as well as new features, combat meta, and balance updates. I imagine the new weekly events is going to be more things like we just had with the sword stuff, where it's just randomly some weapons are extra spicy, because Bungie said, hee hee. The next big seasonal reset will still happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansions. Each update will be a substantial refresh to the core game, bringing new activities and reward content. We're also excited to announce that Destiny 2 Into the Light, these updates and their content will be free to all players. We want Destiny to be easier for anyone to play or recommend, so we want to remove that major barrier to that experience. Which means we need to talk about the core game itself. Now, the core game is Destiny always available, evergreen activity experience. The core Destiny is... let me just restart that. The core game is Destiny's always available evergreen activity experience. We need to fix 2 key things with it. Approachability. First, Destiny is too complex. With literally hundreds of activities, you practically need a PhD to decide on what to play or how to get rewards you're looking for. We're going to start fixing this by modernizing our activity UI, the director, to make it easier for everyone to find and launch integrate activities. And we're reworking our reward model to make sure that all of those activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dives on activities and rewards go into more detail on these changes in particular. Then, the year challenge should matter. Even great activities stop mattering if the challenge drives up and the rewards just aren't worth it. So we're investing in greatly improving challenge customization systems to let players of any skill range find the right challenge level for them, with rewards that improve based on the challenge level you take on. These won't just be simple incoming damage increases either. The team is cooking up some great gameplay modifiers to give enemies some more exciting tools to mix things up on every run. We will have a deep dive coming soon on how to show off these new threats. As for the rewards, there'll be higher tiers of the legendary gear. Think of depth weapons and artifice armor that will be available from these higher challenge rewards in a much wider variety of activities across both PvE and PvP. That sounds interesting. These 2 changes will help the core gameplay experience to be easier to drop into and much deeper in terms of variety and pursuit of personal mastery. And they are a standing point for ongoing changes aimed at continuing to improve Destiny in these regards. So, the next multiversal saga, Codename Apollo, from Allison Lewis. The Destiny 2 narrative director. Let's see, we are proud of the final shape and the ending we created for the Light and Darkness saga, as we knew the episodes that would follow would act as an epilogue tying up the Light and Darkness hanging threads. We'll also be setting up for what's next. The episode closed doors and opened new ones, purposeful ones, and storylines that will be coming for us in the next. And what is next is our new saga. This looks like the Oceans of Titan at the bottom, because that's definitely a boat. You'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes that will fully kick off with Codename Apollo. This next saga is based around a core theme, much like the Light and Darkness did. It will introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. There's a lot more here that we'll stay on eventually, but we don't want to spoil the journey for you. This will be a multi-year journey, one we can't wait to take you on. Our first expansion, Codename Apollo, is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. What are we named by non-linear? Previously in stories like The Final Shape, you experience the story A to B to C to D in a nice straight line. In Codename Apollo, our story takes place over dozens of threads you'll explore and discover. So when you land on a brand new location, the story starts at A, but then you can choose if you want to explore C first or try to go into B or maybe investigate D. And the options you didn't choose, don't worry, those other options will still be open for you to go back and play through. You'll need to. Because the more you play and discover, the more story progresses, and experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way that the story always makes sense and flows from beginning, middle to end. There's no time gating, there's no waiting for the next drop. Codename Apollo's story unfolds based on player progression, with some awesome looking art, because that looks like more Exodus ships that just crash out of nowhere. Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. The shift to non-linear stories isn't something we're locking ourselves into, but this is the structure that fits Codename Apollo best. The narrative structure of the releases that follow will be quite different, a structure to suit that game's experience, and we want to continue to innovate with each expansion across both gameplay and narrative. So, Into the Unknown. Whew. This all sounds like a big change, and it is, because with the rhythm of our story becomes predictable when our characters of the world fail to change, that is when we create a situation, not a story. So how can we innovate? By telling a story that keeps up with our innovation, not one that slows it down. That means an evolving world, giving space for new characters, growing and evolving factions, making sure that the story we tell is in a world we have nurtured, and with characters who grow in turn. We believe in rewarding the player for paying attention without punishing someone for not knowing something. That way, everyone gets to come along for the ride no matter how deep the lore they are into. You'll see the approach starting with episodes and continuing into the new multi-year story. So when we think about a multi-year arc, what does it look like? Think of the constellation of stories united by a single theme. We will show you what the theme is later, but suffice to say, we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not a line. Each release fits into the larger saga, and we can't wait to take you on that journey. Story is easy to spoil, so I won't ruin the details for the theme in Codename Apollo or what it's about, but I will give you something to look forward to. Apollo ends with a narrative gasoline that will propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, goal, and destination that won't come at you straight but will be well worth the trip. It'll reward you, surprise you, and it'll take places that Destiny's never seen before. See you when the time is right. With that, we come to a close. Well, a new beginning. Over the next few months, we'll be dishing out more deep dives and engaging in more conversation. We have no doubts the above codename breakdown, or the above breakdown of Codename Frontier plans will spawn far more questions that we can answer. We'll be looking forward to keep you as up to date, to keep an eye on the deep dive section, be adding links in the further topics. Thank you again for joining us for the first 10 year of Destiny. We've been through so much, battling the darkness, stopping the witness, and now it's time to look to the stars again. It's time to imagine, to dream big and explore what our futures can be in this universe. We have our heading, and we hope to see you join along the way. For all mentions of free content, some content on PlayStation, active PlayStation Plus. Last little disclaimer there, but that sounds very exciting, honestly, right now. It's hope. It's news for the future, that there is a future, because I'm sure that the nihilistic opinion of a lot of Destiny folks was that there probably isn't a future right now because we didn't know if there was a future. But yes, with that, there is a confirmed future Frontiers. Not only that, they actually have 2 full expansions with Apollo and Behemoth, and associate seasons with that as well. They're not just going to be expansions without a season or seasons without an expansion. We will be getting both. And not gonna lie, the most of included stuff we see right here sounds familiar, but it will hopefully expand and evolve. As they said, obviously all this is still subject to change. So with that, that is the end of the Frontiers article. I will be going over the next few in just a moment, but with that, I will see you in the next video.